Hello, Mayhem Makers. I'm Mindy with Quilting Mayhem, and today I want to talk to you about the temperature quilt that we just launched for 2021. So, for those of you that may have gotten our newsletter, seen our posts, we are once again repeating the temperature quilt, which is where every day you make a block that represents the high and low temperatures for the day. And then at the end of the year, you'll have this beautiful visual of the temperature for your area, no matter where you live. It's all kind of to you, and it's kind of fun. And yeah, you get a lot of colors kind of the same, especially if you're like in Washington. We don't have huge dips in temperature, but still in the end, it's just kind of this beautiful quilt that represents every day of the year. And we did it for the first time in 2020, and it was interesting to see how everybody kind of made it their own. We didn't have specific guidelines, so a lot of people kind of did different things. They might have changed up the block for people's birthdays, or we had people that added to represent rain, represent, of course, like COVID. That was a big thing for last year. So it was kind of cool that we started that last year because it really made it kind of a different year to kind of commemorate in fabric. So this year, doing it a little differently, we decided to change it up. I didn't want to just do the same thing because somehow I can't just keep doing the same thing if you know me. And so this year I did make a color palette for those of you that struggle with color and just want to do what I suggest. We've got kind of a starter kit. Just realize because we don't know what temperatures are going to be around here, it really is just a starter kit. We have no idea what fabrics you're going to need more or less of, which is why I stuck with Kona solids this year because we always keep them in stock. And of course, I threw in this year's Kona Color of the Year Horizon. It's a gorgeous blue. And I just wanted to kind of have that in there too, just representing that special color because Kaufman keeps that color only for a couple of years and then it goes away. It doesn't stay in the color palette, so it's kind of unique. So just kind of giving you some basics. If you haven't gone to our website, quiltingmayhem.com, that's where you can go and get all our information. There's like 4 pages of info that hopefully kind of spells it out for you. But I just kind of want to give you the lowdown anyways. So I'll go through the basics for you. There is in those printouts, there's my color chart. This is my Kona color chart. This is what the starter kit starts out with as far as color. And this is what I use every day to determine what my fabrics are going to be to represent that day. So hopefully that makes sense. Kind of what I do is I go to, I think it's Weatherbug or whatever website you like that will tell you the temperature for each day. So I'll go in, look at what yesterday's highs and lows were. I'll take my fabrics for that. So I just go to my chart and so I'll go, oh yeah, yesterday was 50 as a high and 44 as a low. Take those fabrics and turn them into a block. Now, because I couldn't go basic, I kind of took it up a notch this year and decided that each month is going to have a different block to represent for that month. So January, I believe it's 31 days, we'll have 31 blocks. They're the same block, but just there's going to be that many for this month. And then next month in February, we'll have 28 of a different block. They are all going to be the same size to keep it consistent spatially. And then there's a layout we'll show you that will make it kind of look like a calendar. So definitely changed up from last year. If you did last year's, this is definitely new and different, hopefully, maybe a little more fun, little more going on. Last year, I just said, you know, do half square triangles, flying geese, whatever block you want to do. I did kind of a rectangle on the diagonal, but most of us, we did them like in rows. And so you just had this big quilt that was just a row for each month. This time I said, well, we kind of talked about it. Let's make it look more like a calendar. So it'll be in quadrants. Each month will be it's in its own quadrant. It kind of look like a calendar. So the plan is, you know, however it looks on your calendar at home, that's how it'll look in blocks. And then all the empty spaces I'm going to fill in probably a gray. I haven't gotten that far. You know, if you know me, you know, I don't always uber plan everything. I've learned to let some of that go. So we'll eventually get the gray. I think once January is kind of done and I can lay it out and look at it, I'll have a better idea what color I want to fill in and make it look good, make it, pop and be fun. So, and then for the blocks, what I'm doing is Moda has these cupcake mix papers. I love these, especially if you're a beginner in foundation paper piecing. It's just kind of a notepad of pre-printed papers. Let's see if I can do this. And you just tear them out to use. So what's really fun is it'll be super easy. Every day you need 2 papers, you pull them out, you take your squares that represent for the day, your high and your low, and here I'll show you. So I went and took my fabrics and I cut them into 5-inch squares. Isn't this gorgeous? I love how pretty this is. This just makes me, I just want this on my table all day. I don't know that I really want to use it because it just looks so pretty. But I pre-cut into 5-inch squares. So then all I have to do is go, okay, what are my temperatures? Pull my squares. So, most likely it's going to be, there's a lot of them that are kind of in the 50s and the 40s. So you take one of each. You do need 2 sets for each day. So you're definitely going to need more of these booklets. But this is just kind of to start out. So if you bought the starter pack, this is just going to scratch the surface. You may want to buy a couple more just so you're ready for the rest of the month. And of course, we're using this. This is actually for the first 3 months worth. So block 1 is what I'm starting in January. February will be block 2 and March will be block 3. So just keep in mind, we're just going to stick with these papers. You're going to know them well by the time we're done. But what's fun is you take your fabrics, and I'm going to do a more in-depth tutorial. So if you join in, go find our Facebook page, the QM Temperature Quilt 2021 Facebook page. It's open to everybody. There's no fee, no nothing. Hop in, and as long as you play nice with everybody, you can come hang out and see what happens. So join that group because I'll definitely do a more in-depth tutorial, but it'll be pretty simple. You just use these papers. They're super simple. You stitch them onto your fabrics, and then you just cut them apart. It makes the half square triangles nice and consistent. That's what I like about this project, is that with foundation piecing, I don't have to worry about my diagonals not being pretty, my points not being on point. Foundation piecing just makes it nice and crisp without stressing. And then in the end, you'll have, here's January 1st, block 1. Okay, so this will start out the very beginning, and then every day you're making this block just in your high and your low of the temperature for the day. So like the next day, these are my highs and lows. The next couple days are this way. So just every day you can wait. You don't have to do it every day. I know life gets stressful. I know I got behind. So I don't want you to stress that every day you got to break out and do this block. I recommend that you do to stay on top of it. But you can always wait and do it like once a week and just go, okay, the 1st through the 7th, I'm going to do all those blocks, and then just kind of do it weekly to knock them out in a more efficient manner, I guess is how I would put it. So that's kind of how it goes. Judy, if you're still out there, the chart is actually, it's just on the website. You don't have to purchase it. It's free for you. Just go to quiltingmayhem.com. There's my color chart, or there's a blank one. So if you don't want to do rainbow, if you want to do blues, pinks, your own colors, here's the example. This is what we did last year. A lot more colors, and mine were a lot more muted, not quite as bright. So I wanted fun this year. So that's just an example. You don't have to necessarily follow my specific chart. You can go rogue. Don't worry. I don't get upset. My feelings don't get hurt. You really, as I say, you do you. You can do whatever you want. I already have somebody, I think they're doing cupcakes, which is really cool. Like the bottom's the low and the top of the cupcake's high. I mean, honestly, Do whatever makes you happy, what you think's going to be fun for you for the year. This is just for those of you that really haven't done this before, need guidelines, need something to follow. That's what I'm going to be doing for you guys. So in the Facebook group, I'll give you more tutorials. I'll hop in along the month, show you progress of how things are going, how it looks, answer questions. That's the whole point of the Facebook group, is just you get me, more of me. I'm not sure you guys are ready for that, but that's what that's for. And then each month I'll give you a tutorial for the next month's block, and we'll just kind of keep going. And then if you have questions, even if you went rogue and you're not doing exactly what I'm doing, just ask me questions. It doesn't bother me. If you decided you had 50 different colors, different color for every day, or every temperature, I don't know that I recommend that. That's a little too much. But definitely if you want more color, um, you can do that. Obviously, like last year's definitely had more variety. So if you want something like that, I probably can find that chart, dig it out for you, and share that one if you want more variety. Also, um, I just decided this year I wanted to keep it a little more simple because the blocks are a little more in detail. So kind of scooted from one area to the other. So that's kind of our basics of our temperature quilt this year. And it's going to be all year long. You're stuck with me all year. Happy 2021. Yay. But it's fun. It's just a fun way to kind of see what the year's like in the end. Hopefully catch up with my 2020 quilt real soon, and then I'll show you what it looks like in case you want to do more like what we did last year. That'll be an option too. I'll gladly help you with that. You just let me know. Whatever route you want to go, I can help you work it out. You can reach out to me at the shop. You can email me, mindy@quiltingmayhem.com. You can track me down through Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Just throw your questions out there and we'll be there to help you out. So definitely, it's a lot of fun. Don't be scared. If you still have questions, just let us know. Hopefully, I at least cover the basics for you. And like I said, in the group, I'll get more detailed. Just go find that group, join it, and get started. And don't worry that we're already on day 5. It's okay, you can catch up fast. That's the nice thing about this, is catching up is pretty easy. That is my favorite part. I caught up half of November in about an hour yesterday, hour and a half. So don't freak out. Something fun, something different, something new for the new year. Okay. So thank you for joining me this morning. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have a fabulous rest of your day, and keep on stitching.